What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the morning view. We've got a lot to get through. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome to the channel if you are new as well. Bright-eyed, bushy tails. Tuesday, the 9th of May. Let us know where you're watching from as well. Let us know where you're watching from.
I'm never that bright-eyed and bushy. No, whenever these 9 a.m. Sometimes, some mornings, you know, I wake up, I go, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I hear you.
You know,
no,
I get to the end of the show and then I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's your start of the day. The end of the show is your start of the day.
People have been saying recently, they go, oh, Owen, you're full of beans at the 10 p.m. streams. I go, yeah, that's the time I'm normally awake. 10 I'm not a morning person. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Get your chats in from Greece, East Coast always. From Peckham and South London. Tank is there. Morning voice says Simon. Territory. Yes, 100%. I was watching some good episodes before bed last night. I was in my bag. I was, I was watching the one where Kevin, he tries to raid the shop for money. I was watching the one from Persia with Love. It's basically the lady comes over from Germany and she's got kids, she's got nowhere to stay. And Dell's like, oh, I could sell this kid to Boise. Just loads. Just watched quite a few yesterday.
I was watching last night before I went to bed. I was watching The Sopranos. I started rewatching The Sopranos. Have you ever watched that series?
I've never watched The Sopranos. No, no.
A rarity. I've seen something new. It's honestly best television series ever. Maybe it's amazing.
Yes. With the dressing gown flex. What? This is not a dressing gown. No, this is my represent.
No, he's saying you.
My dressing gown.
When you're watching Only Fools and Horses, and you're watching it with the Only Fools and Horses dressing gown, the Only Fools and Horses mug.
Guys, you've got your room. Guys, the dressing gown's gone.
What?
Oh no.
What happened?
I got to get a new one. It's had like holes in the back, like tea stains done. It's just, I got to get a new one, man. So I will get a new one, but it's gone. The dressing gown's gone, man. I know. I don't want to talk about it, but we do have a lot to talk about during this show. We've got to talk about David De Gea. I will fight. He's been given no assurance he's going to be the number one. We're going to talk about Weghorst, Manchester United. Value him. We're going to talk about what the club have been saying to him. But at the top of the show, we've got to talk about this Declan Rice thing. We've got to talk about Declan Rice because there's some news reports today claiming that Declan Rice is available for 120 million pounds sterling. Or 100 million plus a player. But Owen, what's the news story? And then let's talk about it. And then we will talk about De Gea. We will talk about Weghorst.
Yeah, so this comes from Sky Sports, actually. Sky Sports have written an article this morning saying that West Ham will allow Declan Rice to leave this summer if they receive an offer worth £120 million from a Champions League club. West Ham would also accept £100 million, as Flex mentioned, plus a player for the midfielder, with the Hammers already receiving inquiries about him. It must be said before we get excited, or some people don't even rate Declan Rice that much, to be fair, but his most likely destination at the moment is Arsenal, while Chelsea, Manchester United and Liverpool have also shown an interest in the England international, which I find interesting, their Flex, because they're saying 120 million from a Champions League club. Well, potentially only 2 in that list of 4 are going to be a Champions League club next season. So that would already rule out half of them. You know, when they say Chelsea there, I'm thinking, Chelsea.
But I think Chelsea, just because it's Chelsea and he kind of loves them.
And historically, they've always been, you know, he came from the Chelsea Academy.
So he might, so even if they don't get in the Champions League, if you think about it, if Poch did go there and they start rebuilding, they clear out a load, they could, and Chelsea got the money to do it, and it's Declan Rice. They could still get him. They could. And Chelsea would be the team as well to go 120 million. Oh, yeah. Come on.
20-year contract. We'll spread it around.
Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't rule that out.
But they're saying that Arsenal, you know, is the most likely destination, which to be honest, I think it would be. I mean, obviously, look, United are monitoring FC. They're always looking at people. But given our own financial situation, which is still very uncertain, given the fact we might have only 100 million to spend in the summer, plus player sales, of course, I'd be stunned Flex, if we get to the end of the transfer window and Declan Rice is playing in a red shirt for Manchester United, I think the red shirt he'd probably be playing in would be an Arsenal one. And to be honest, it makes a lot of sense really for them, doesn't it? That's the player they're looking for, another midfielder. They're pushing on to hopefully, they'll put in their point of view, challenge for the title next season again. He'd stay in London as well, which is a key thing too. When I saw this morning and I saw some sort of the United angle of it, saying that he was, United are interested. I thought, well, they could be interested, but we're not getting Declan Rice.
No.
We are not getting Declan Rice. I'm willing to take my reputation on the line.
Yeah, you're saying 100%. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you with that 100%. I think the Arsenal move makes perfect sense. It's all about the evolution of the team and where the team is. And obviously, the most important thing is your budget. What do you have to spend? And Arsenal were willing to part ways of the best part of £65 million in January for a central midfielder in Caicedo. Obviously, they didn't want to go up to 70. They're good. They're in the Champions League. They need reinforcements in that area. Their team is more polished than ours. Their team is further ahead than ours. They've got less priorities than we do. They've got their own priorities, but one of their priorities is a central midfielder and a proper one as well. So, yeah, let's not get it twisted. Declan Rice is good. Declan Rice will come into our team and make it better. He would. He, like someone said there in the chat, Declan Rice ran through our midfield and got man of the match a couple of days ago with ease against our trio of midfield. Well, I know Bruno didn't play there. To be fair, it was Weghorst, but they were on the pitch anyway. But Eriksen, Casemiro, Casemiro.
It's the first time that
brilliant,
lost, isn't it? It's the
first
time
which actually first time they've lost, but it's kind of like Bruno wasn't part of the midfield, but yeah, it is. But like Declan Rice would walk into our team and make it better. He's the type of player that we need, but not at that price. And there is way more bigger priorities that we have. There's better prices as well. That's Declan Rice is not worth 120 million.
That's my question. I was going to ask you.
He's not.
Going to say,
but he's always going to cost that. Jack Grealish wasn't worth 100 million, but now he's starting to do well in that City team. If they win everything and get the treble and do all this stuff, then it's like, light changes. It's 100 million. That's what you pay for.
And also, players. This is when you get into the territory of he may not be worth 120 million as a player, but in reality, he probably is worth 120 million to West Ham in terms of where he gets that club. This season, West Ham could very well win the Europa Conference League. And if they do that, they get into the Europa League next season.
And they've stayed up.
And they stay up. So if you package everything that comes with that together, it's more than 120 million pounds. And if I know you can't put it on one player, but when it was like with Villa and Grealish at the time, if Villa didn't have Jack Grealish, they wouldn't be in the Premier League. They would get relegated. And that was their kind of point of, well, without him, we might really struggle.
And you've got to look at the rest of the competition in the league. Like, in that position, who's better than him? And I'm not saying, name me a player because he's the best. I'm saying he's in the bracket of someone who's very high in his position in the league. Yes, if you want to start going world football, that's a different kettle of fish. But he has done it on the world stage of England and hasn't looked out of place. When he's played in the big games for England, you wouldn't say, Declan Rice looks out of sort, and yeah, definitely West Ham level. He can do it. And
wow.
I think it's
me. Look at this. It's you.
It's me. That's crazy because it came up with a little thing there.
Yeah.
I mean, my download 120. Looking at it right now. Upload 120. Me and Owen saying how good this was.
I knew when we were talking about it at the time that was going to be the case. Look at him. Vanish Fleck. Disgraced cheat. And now he's gone again. See, I never know when to jump in when this stuff happens. The other day it happened with Kenny, and then I had to sort of jump back in. Now we're getting third Fleck. Look at this. I'm surrounded by Flecks.
I just went for the full reset, the full one. That was a gremlin in the system. That is weird. We were literally just saying how good this program is. But yes, he's in the top. He's in the top bracket, innit? He makes a lot of teams better. But that doesn't mean that we are in a position, or we should be in a position, to get him. Ideally, you want good English players. That's great. But Nah, we've got to get a striker, and with the amount of money
But
that we've got to spend,
he's
we
got
can't
1 year
get.
left on his contract, Flex, too. 120
It's still going to
million.
be 100 million. Yes, yeah, mate. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. The club dictates it, man. Club dictates it. Whoever wants to pay the money. It's
I
true.
think would Arsenal pay 120 million for a Declan
Maybe
Rice?
not. They might do the 100 plus the
Arsenal
player.
don't do that. Arsenal don't
They
really
might
do that.
They might do 100 plus El Nene. Or 100 plus Lukonga or something. I don't know. But they'll have to stump up the majority of that. They would.
It would have to be close to 100. But I just 120.
Yeah, it might not be that much, but even if it was 90 million, we can't get it. We can't afford a midfielder that much.
Oh yeah, United shouldn't be doing that. I mean, we can do this summer if the reports are accurate. One big, signing, which is, and when I say big, I mean like £100 million player, close to, and that has to be the striker. I mean, I was looking at a stat this morning, Flex, and it was from The Athletic, saying that Manchester United are underperforming their XG by 7.02. Only 3 teams have a worse disparity in the league, and that is Everton, West Ham, and Chelsea. They're the only 3 teams in the Premier League that are underperforming their XG by more, which essentially means, we are creating chances, but we're not finishing them, essentially. We're expected to be scoring more goals than we are, which is one of those ones which actually you don't even really need the stat to know that, because you just watch the game and you say, how many chances have we missed? Even when we win games, we go, we should have won that 3 or 4-0.
We're not clinical. We don't score enough goals.
But it's just reassuring to know when you do see a stat like that, you go, I'm not going crazy then. I am seeing that with my eyes.
What you're seeing.
We're missing chances. And Ten Hag has said it as well, that, they're missing chances. And frankly, the team that's below us in that, Everton, just scored 5 against Brighton. So, and we
haven't scored 5 in a game all season. They just done against Brighton.
When was the last time we scored 5 goals in a match?
Leeds at home, beginning of the season. Yeah, was that 5-2 that game? Pogba got a hat trick. Got like 4 assists. Bruno,
it was 5-1, wasn't it? 5-1.
Yeah, I think it was that. Dreamer. And then maybe the game before that when we played Leeds with no fans and McTominay scored like 2 goals straight away. What was that? 6-2, something like that.
Something like that. But the point being is, we have never looked like scoring 5 this season in terms of getting close to it.
And we did it against Leipzig as well one time, with no fans as well. Remember at home? We battered them, and it's just ages away. Yeah, when it was Man United no fan vibes. That was.
But my point being is that, and this kind of goes into the De Gea stuff in a bit, is that whenever you talk about De Gea, and I've seen this over the last day or so when people have been talking about him and whether he's everyone's always looking for the problem. It's always he's not the problem. Strikers is the problem. It's always the problem.
We've got loads.
There are several. It's not one thing that needs to get fixed. Obviously, if you fix one of them, it will get better. But it's not one thing. And whenever you talk about, when you talk about this, you talk about, we've got to score more goals. But then people go, yeah, but David De Gea's the problem. And you go, well, they can both be their own separate things, and they both need to be addressed. In the same way, to your point, that other things need to be addressed as well. Like, again, getting a midfielder in, getting another defender in. But certainly, again, I think it's quite interesting looking at that when we're talking about transfer priority. Certainly, striker, 100 million. That's just what it's got to be in the summer. If we got to the end of the summer and they went, look, it was tumultuous takeover. Let's say it's not resolved by that point, because you never know.
Could be that.
The minimum, get a striker.
We have to. We're not scoring enough goals, and we don't have somebody who you look at up front in that front line. Don't get me wrong, Rashi has done amazingly well this season in terms of goals and output. You can't, he's in actually a bit of a bad spell now. I think in the last sort of like 10 or 15, was it 15 games? The last, something like that. He's got only 2 goals in this period. He's on a bit of a bad run now, but obviously after the World Cup was amazing. You can't take that away from him. If he wasn't scoring at them points of the season, we wouldn't even be in this position. So as much as the criticism we have at Rashi's playing style, now he's not scoring goals. That is a bigger team thing for the future. But in the context of this season, take away Rashford's goals, where would this team be? Where would this team? Who's the next highest scorer? Is it Bruno? Maybe. I think he's got about 10 for the season. I think it probably is Bruno.
Probably.
Then after that, it's probably Anthony with about 6 or 7, something like that. Can't be much more than that. Can't be much more than that, can it?
No.
Goals are slim.
It's not even a situation whereby we're not scoring many goals, but they're spread around. No, it's basically been Rashford.
Exactly. There you go. Bruno's got 6 in the league. Someone just said, and Bruno with 11 goals altogether. And so there you go. Bruno is the second. After Bruno, I mean, Sancho has 5. That's unbelievable. Can't believe that. Palestri. Anthony's probably got 6 in all comps, maybe 7.
Martial must have at least like sort of
4.
Martial's got a couple, isn't he? Because whenever
he's got a good ratio. Martial's got 7 goals. Bloody hell!
I was gonna say because he must have made at least at one point. It was every time he came on, he scored. He didn't come on. The spaces between him coming on was like 2 months.
Yeah, but the point is, without Rashford, those are the type of numbers we've got. 7,
single digits.
5, 6, dead numbers. So as much as Rashi we're saying now, flipping it, he's getting a bit frustrating and not doing this, not doing that. Without his goals this season, we'd be in an absolute. We wouldn't even be talking about top 4. We'd be struggling to get in the top 6.
And you want to look at Harry Kane, by the way. Looking at this XG chart, Spurs are overperforming their XG. Their XG is 52, and they've scored 64 goals. So they're overperforming by 11. Now, I'm not saying that's solely down to Harry Kane, but it does imply that they've got a striker that you have to give half a chance to, and he'd probably score a goal. And that's the difference. We were saying we've been saying, haven't we, that we scored 49 goals, and you add in there the 20 goals that Harry Kane's guaranteed to get. We've probably already qualified for the top 4 if we had that striker at this point.
Exactly.
Plus assists as well.
Yeah, he does everything, but he's too old and there's no sell-on value. This is what I hear. Just go and get Harry Kane, man. I don't like. Yeah, it could be Osimhen, great, and I'll be buzzing with Osimhen. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. But listen, just go and get Kane. Just get him. We know what we're getting. We can just leave him there and then start building again. We got to get Kane, man. He completely changes this team. Just with him being there, just with the quality that he has. And actually, you talk about he always gets injured, and look at him this season. It's been solid, mate. Solid.
Yeah, and people go, I've seen the criticism, but he might change the style of play. I remember when Sir Alex got Robin Van Persie, he changed the style of play. I remember Rio Ferdinand said in the first training session, he sort of sat everyone down and said, get the ball to this guy.
Just get it to him. Yeah, and Kane is that.
Get it to the guy around the box. He will score. That is it.
Yeah, and that's it. It's not. Yeah, and it's not like give it to Kane like in mad areas where he's got played because he can do for everyone. It's get the it's how Tottenham play. Like Tottenham, and I'm not saying we have to play as shit football as them, but I mean in general, like when they were in their prime, like when they weren't as crap as this under Poch, they were all action, high pressing, and even after Poch actually. I mean when Kane and Son were in their prime as like the deadly duo. The way Tottenham used to be is in transition and just when they have the ball, get it forward as quickly as possible into that final third and get Son running, get running. Kane needs runners. Kane does need runners. So Anthony and Rashford will have to be more willing. Rashford already runs. And then, get runners behind him. And also none of this chopping back, when we get to the byline and might not cross it and that cross on sight. That's what you have to be.
And also too, I mean, you talk about Kane and Son and obviously the chances they create for each other. I also saw a stat, this was during the Monday Night Football last night, and they were saying in terms of chances created between teammates this season, the most in the Premier League this season, Kane and Son have 35 chances created between teammates, but actually the most in the Premier League is Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford with 36.
Yeah, I saw that stat. Yeah,
and it's very lopsided, it must be said, because Kane and Son, Kane's made 18 chances for Son, Son's made 17 for him, pretty balanced. Third were Odegaard and Saka, 19 and 15 respectively, blah, blah, blah. Fernandes and Rashford, it's 33 chances made for Rashford and Bruno, three for Rashford.
It's not really a partnership, is it? It's just Bruno.
But when I saw that, I said, imagine, because again, Rashford's had a good season, he scored goals, but I went, imagine Bruno was making chances for a Harry Kane. 33 chances he's made. In reality, Kane's got what, 20 plus goals this season. He's had 17 chances made for him by Son. Now, not every goal was assisted by Son, but the point being, if Bruno Fernandes is literally making 33 chances for Marcus Rashford plus everyone else around him this season, I think he's got the highest chance creation for any player in the Premier League this season. Imagine he was creating those chances for a player that was ruthless in front of goal. I mean, you give him half a chance, he will score. Bruno Fernandes, then I think then people would maybe start respecting him a little bit more, because those assists that people care about, people would actually be taking them. Kenny made a great point all that time ago when we talk about the Sancho numbers at Dortmund. Well, if you're giving the ball to Erling Haaland, most of the time, if you create a chance, he's probably going to score. Yeah. And it's probably, and I sort of salivate thinking about Bruno Fernandes linking up with Harry Kane. Not only would Kane be getting the goals, but Bruno's, his number would skyrocket because the chances would finally be taken.
Owen, no sell-on value. Dodgy ankle. 30. He's 30.
English, we overrate him. I've also seen this as well. I've seen pretty much every player, pundit, whoever, and I see this a lot. People going, people don't overrate Harry Kane. If anything, they underrate him because he's English. Yeah, we sort of, because we see him every single week,
underrate him, and he plays at Spurs.
And he plays for Spurs, and they go, "What's he won?" Blah blah blah. He is underrated. He will literally, he will get into any club in the world, and it's going to be a situation that once he does retire in however many years' time, people go, "Actually, he was quite good, wasn't he?" Yeah. And if anything, maybe it's going to take for him to take that step up to go to this club and win stuff. People are going to go, "He's amazing, isn't he?" Harry Kane, he's incredible. You know?
I don't see how people don't want Harry Kane in my eyes. I don't see how people think it won't work. I just don't get it. It's glaringly obvious what we need. It also is like he could be the Van Persie. Like
Bruno and Kane is the link. That is money. He can be
the Van Persie if you play to that way. And I'm not saying all we need is a striker, then we can win the league. So it's like Van Persie. I don't mean it in that context. I don't mean it like that. I mean it in terms of how many goals he can score for this team instantly. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're talking about, okay, Haaland's the best striker in the league now. But you're talking about someone who can literally come in, bang, there's your 25 Premier League goals every season while I'm here instantly. And that is something that we haven't had. We haven't had in a long time. Martial, listen, yes, we play better when he's there because we got Weghorst. Other than that, we haven't got anyone else. He's had his time. He's been here a long time. We need to just drop this Martial thing now. There's going to be games where he holds it up nice and he's silky, and it's not enough. No. Forget it. It's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough. Yeah, just go and get the real shooter. It's as simple as that. But back to Declan Rice before we move on. 120 million Declan Rice value. Fine, lovely, great for anyone else who that's their priority, but it's not our priority. No. I would have Declan Rice in our midfield, absolutely. We saw that on exactly. We saw that on Sunday. He can get into most teams in the top four, top five, whatever you want to call it. Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea. I know Chelsea are way off it, but he can go there easily. Liverpool can go there easily. Man City, they're probably going to move a few if Gundogan goes or whatever. You know, he could play for Man City quite comfortably. If Calvin Phillips was someone who Pep thought could do a job, he'd definitely take Declan Rice. And imagine him, Rodri and De Bruyne or something like that. That would just be, just be stupid. So he can play for anyone. We can
replace someone like Gundogan, couldn't he? Can do the same thing that he does.
Yeah, he's not as much of a dictator as Gundogan. No. He's not as good as on the ball as him.
You can chain him into that
easily. 100%. When you've got the protection of Rodri and the world class, sprinkle of Kevin De Bruyne, then Rice could go into any of them top teams. Yeah. So yeah, not for us. We can't afford it. We got bigger priorities. David De Gea, I will fight.
Yes,
he will fight for United till he wins the Football League. Talk to us. It's a good song. Love singing that in the away days. Yeah.
Yes, he will fight, but he's been given no assurances. This comes from the Telegraph. James Ducker saying that David De Gea has been given no assurances he will remain as Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper next season, even though he is edging closer to agreeing a new contract with the club. Manchester United have the likes of Brentford's David Raya. They're one of the many admirers for him. They're also looking at Diogo Costa, among others, according to the report still. So the terminology being used here is quite interesting, Flex, because there is this general acknowledgement De Gea going to stay. He's going to get a new contract. I mean, unless, after what happened at the weekend, unless there's a real sort of left turn and a real U-turn, and they've just gone, actually, you know what, let's just go in a completely different direction. Most likely, De Gea is going to get a new contract and he's going to stay. But as part of these negotiations for this new contract, he hasn't been told, yeah, you're getting a new contract, you're going to be our number one next season. No, because there is this still general feeling amongst some that actually, let's see what happens with the takeover. Let's see how much money we do have in the summer. Let's see what players we can move on. And you never know. We might look at another goalkeeper. We might be able to do a David Raya deal. And if that is the case, you're going to have to fight it out. You know, you're going to have to fight out for your spot, which I think is quite interesting. You would think, wouldn't you, that if he does sign a contract that makes him the highest paid goalkeeper in the Premier League, then he would be he would be in the number one spot. But maybe not.
Maybe not. So we're going to get through some super chats before we carry on with that. Owen just filling us in about what the state of play is. MUFC says, Flex, I told you last week that Declan is done. Fair play for coming out and holding your hands up on that, bro. Stepper. LOL. Yeah. Peak times, man, but had to call it as I see it. Oh, I need to take that. Oh, it's annoying. Carry on, Owen. Do the super chats.
Okay, I'll do the super chats. Flex is a disgrace in the sheet. Look at him. Professional as always. WJ Barrett says, Flex and Owen. Flex isn't here, WJ Barrett. He's left. Morning. Good morning to yourself, WJ Barrett. Who is better, Rice or Bellingham? Well, I will leave that to the live chat. Different players. For me, I would say Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is the better player. I think Jude Bellingham is I know the phrase generational talent gets so overused and so used often by social media and all that kind of stuff. But I think Jude Bellingham is ridiculous. And I think most likely he is going to go to Real Madrid. And I think I'm not going to say Real Madrid icon because you never know. I saw some people saying that Bellingham going to Real Madrid was a bad move. And their rationale was because who goes to Real Madrid when they're, how old is Bellingham? 19, 20. Who goes there when they're that age and stays for a decade? And I went, well, that's not really the point, is it? He can go there and be anything he wants. So I think that's a great move for him, Bellingham. All Elite's been a member for 8 months, says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We cannot rely on Rashi to be our main man. Too inconsistent and head drops too often. Our front line is weak. Joe Blackman's been a member for a month. Appreciate a month of support. Says, I'd rather get rid of Maguire, get a defender, midfielder and a striker before we even address David De Gea. And Lil Yo-Yo says, Fleck, what a vocal masterpiece from you, good sir. Lots of people speculating that Flex just received a phone call from Doha, from Qatar, possibly. I don't know. He's still muted, so, you know. And finally, one of our members in the chat, Love, says, who's better, KG or Maradona?
Maradona.
Just about.
Maradona, just about. Apologies, guys. I really had to take that. That was an important call. So, yeah, big up on the super chats. The David De Gea thing. Okay, yeah. He will fight. And do you know what?
Most expensive backup goalkeeper in the Premier League, potentially.
100%.
Imagine he's number 2.
I know. And I do. The thing we was talking about is so funny. Do you know what? Football's crazy, isn't it? Because literally, what was it? That show that KG was even talking about last night on the full view that me and you did when I kind of did the maths and said what it would cost to replace David De Gea. Yeah. And you touched on it as well in terms of the priorities that we have to go and spend with not knowing how much money we have. Yeah. Those let's call a spade. Yeah, hear me out on this. These things are helping De Gea stay. I think
massively.
They're working in his favor. The fact that Ten Hag doesn't know, do I have enough budget to go and actually spend on the good quality keeper that I want? Because I was talking to Cam about this, and I was like, when we said about Henderson for David Raya or something, and Cam was like, just go and get the guy, spend the 60 million, get the proper keeper. And it's like, I know in theory you want to do that, but in reality we can't do that. We don't have enough money to spend 60, 70 million on like a top world-class keeper who's going to be our keeper for the next however long. We have to find a stopgap.
When we're looking for a striker, that's the priority.
When we're looking for a striker and a midfielder, we can't do that. So if you're Ten Hag, I do agree with what you say, Owen, which is that, well, I'm looking at this and I'm like, most of my budget, if not all, with how it's going with this takeover, because I don't have a clue what's going to happen, all of my budget is going to go on a striker, and then all of my player sales is going to be there to get another centre half. We've got to sort out Harry Maguire. I need midfielders. We don't dictate games. I need technical players. And then, yes, if I can get a keeper for like 40 million, 30 million, I'll do that. So it's like, okay, let me re-sign De Gea because the powers that be ahead are allowing me to do that. They're saying, look, you can put the wages, we can cover that. I know it's going to be mad wages, but there's no transfer fees. It's not coming out of transfer kitty. And he's already on 375. So actually the number what we save from him in terms of wages can go into some form of kitty for wages for other players. So, all right, cool. So I do get why Ten Hag might be lying about that because he might know, and this is me maybe this is me thinking too deep, but I think it's quite logical. He's going, well, I can't commit to saying David De Gea, see you later. Here's 56 million for the new keeper who we have to go and get Diogo Costa, who's going to cost a lot of money, or whoever else it is. You know, David Raya is an upgrade on De Gea, but is he even the guy you want at Man United? The guy? You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that I can see why. I know people are like, how can Ten Hag say that? Like, I think it's because he knows he has to rely on him next year because of the fact that the money's already been petitioned out to higher priorities. So that's helping De Gea stay. Because if we were in a position where Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Qatar had come in already, the transfer budget's 350 million. We know what we got. He'd be gone. But I think that uncertainty is making Ten Hag better the devil you know, is the saying. Yeah, for another year. And maybe even bring in, when Jack Butland leaves, because he probably will, bring in a second keeper who can actually start some games, who will actually play, you know, where De Gea's actually got to compete. And actually, that's where Dean Henderson does come into it. That's where he does come into it. We were talking about this, weren't we? Because it's like, okay, cool. Dean Henderson hasn't earned the right to say, make me number one because I'm the best, or I'm, you know, you can't dictate. But
if David De Gea is not getting assurances, Dean Henderson
David De Gea is not exactly.
You know what I mean?
But what he has earned, really, and you can see his frustration is, well, De Gea ain't that great. So give me a shot. He deserves a chance. He deserves a chance. He deserves a chance to fight out. So, and that again, the Henderson buzzwords like, oh, that thing he done on TalkSport, oh, it's a disgrace. And we got to get real. Like, we've got a keeper here. He's literally thrown it in his own net. We've got a keeper here. He can't come across. We've got a keeper here. It's the truth. That is the truth. We've got a keeper in decline here. And it's the uncomfortable truth. And I've had to wake up and smell some serious coffee. Last week or so for me, I've gone from in Sevilla press conferences trying to get the manager to back David De Gea, you know, asking David De Gea after Betis, you know, backing him. You know, I've gone from that.
There needs to be a bit of a conversation actually about that, because not only with people tracing back to, you know, mistakes being made. Obviously, you spoke to Ten Hag about De Gea, and then he made the mistakes in Sevilla. You also actually physically touched David De Gea in Real Betis, you know, in that same city. I'm just saying, you can trace a lot back to certain situations, can't you, Flex?
To be honest, yeah, cool. If you want to bring the judge back, bring it back. But the mentality of this team has been like this way before my judge. That's what I will say to defend myself. So if you want to put it on me, put it on me. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. But David De Gea, now I'm deep in it, really, to the beginning. This decline has been there. When I've been his staunchest, biggest defender, the decline's still been there, no matter what I've said. You know what I mean? I didn't touch him before Barcelona when he kicked it to flipping, who was it, Gavi or whoever it was, and the thing he had to come running back. You know, it happens. So, yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Saying some of those mistakes have happened since you did the interview and you shook his hand. And
yeah, well, we also won games after that, didn't we?
No, I don't say we didn't win games, but
you know what I mean,
not many actually after that Real Betis game away.
Yeah, no, it was away actually.
It
was away. Well, there you go. Like I'm with KG. This is this thing. KG said it right the other day. I can't even come to my own studio. Apparently, you know, it's just getting pathetic. So, if you want to do that, fine. If you want me to take the heat for the players with what we're seeing, fine. But I'm staying on task here. I'm staying on task, and I can see that these guys ain't got no minerals.
No, to be fair, in all seriousness, though, I do think you're right when it comes to It's a timing thing now, isn't it, with De Gea? A decision, I've said this before, has to be made because his contract is coming up, and out of the window is triggering the option for an extra year at his current rate, particularly if we do qualify for the Champions League, because he's going up to 375. So no, that's off the table. So a decision has to be made. Do we sign him to a new contract on lesser terms? But to your point, it's like, well, you know, in an ideal world, if we did have a budget, maybe we would just let this one run its course, and we would already be looking at people in the summer. And we've got these people on this list that we're interested in, but there is so many questions that are unanswered at the moment about United's future, you know, transfer budgets. Just like people like John Murto's, I guess he's probably doing his job at the moment, going, there's a high chance I'm not going to be employed in a few months' time because someone else might be brought in. You know, all of this kind of stuff's completely up in the air right now. And Ten Hag trying to, you got to just plan as, you know, as you mean to go on and just assume business as usual, right? That's the buzzword, business as usual at United. So he's like, well, I'm working on the assumption if I've got 100 million, and if I've got 100 million, I've got to get a striker. And player sales then, okay, I might move some people out the door, but how do I use that most effectively? Is the most effective means by getting another goalkeeper in when the keeper that I am going to be keeping, he is going to be staying, is then going to be the backup or the number 2 or fighting for a spot, but he's still the highest paid goalkeeper in the Premier League. Is that really financially viable? Maybe not. And then
maybe not, but actually it might be in this context where we don't know what money we've got next year, though. It's not good to have him being the best. It's not that 200k isn't us saying we love what you're so amazing, like you're the best keeper in the league, so have the best out of the keepers. It's crap. You're right, because he shouldn't be on that. But I think it's just to secure him because we don't know what we can get next year because of the money.
That's my point. That's my point. But this is why I kind of disagreed with what KG was saying last night, because he was saying that as a matter of principle, if they're telling you that he should walk. But my point was that even if they're cutting your pay by 150k, 350 to 200, one, he's still the highest paid keeper in the Premier League, and two, that is still significantly more than he would get anywhere else in the world. He could go to wherever. He will not get that anywhere else. I would know that. If I know that my UV contract is completely inflated, and then one day you go, hey, Owen, we've got to get that down a little bit. And you get it down to still a number that's ridiculously high. I'll go, oh, yeah, I'll be a team player. That's fine. No problem. Yeah, I'll be a team player. No problem. Knowing that.
I can't believe his luck.
Yeah, I ain't getting that anywhere else. You know what I mean? You'd be like, I'm not getting there anywhere else. It's ridiculous. I've been, you know, chancing it this whole time. So, of course, he would say, yeah. And he's, you know, he's settled. He's been in Manchester for over a decade at this point. He's got family, and he's my, you know, 200k as your last big contract ain't bad, especially when you've been on 375 for like what? How many years? When did he last sign his contract? Was it 2015? Something like that. You know, you've been on it for a while. So, you know,
he's getting it out of longevity because he's been there the longest out of everyone. Yeah. That's why he's getting it. That's why he's getting it. He's the last surviving member from Sir Alex.
And let's say we're saying it's 200k. There were reports that he kind of maybe turned down 200k. It can't go higher.
It's interesting to see what it would be. But I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it would be. Because obviously, and actually, we forget about David De Gea, even though we don't want to have this conversation because we don't think he's good enough anymore. He's doing the best for his family and his setup. This is his last big contract. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, how old's De Gea?
32. But 32. And also as well, and it goes back to leverage because he. And this is the dichotomy of David De Gea is that you've got all of this stuff going on. You've got mistakes being made, poor distribution, but then he can point to, well, I've got the most clean sheets in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's crazy. Which is the point which we were talking about, what other people were talking about only last week.
And it's what Ten Hag said. And Ten Hag said, I think we've got the most clean sheets. He's made big saves this season, which he has. He has. Yeah. But that still doesn't justify you being the highest paid keeper in the Premier League.
It doesn't. And obviously, like I said, where would we be about Rashford's goals? Like, even though I'm upset with De Gea and I've come to a realization, he has in some games won us points. Even Marcel said that. Marcel said, listen, he has won us points this year. Yeah. And we still need him. There's 4 cup finals or 3. Yeah. Well, there's 4 cup finals. We have to win.
There's 5, technically.
There's 5 because there's an actual cup final.
Final.
Yeah. We need him to not do anything stupid for the rest of these in this. This is crunch time. You can't be at home and be a bit nervous and have fucking, I don't know, Diego Costa. I don't even know if he's been playing for Wolves recently, but you can't have him on a corner and you're a bit scared and then you fucking drop it and they score a shit goal. You can't have, you know, flapping at Ruben Neves shooting from 25 yards for a free kick you should save and you get a floppy wrist to it and it goes in. You can't do it. You can't have fucking, I don't know. Is Max Kilman even still there? I don't know what
Well,
their
we're going
team
to
is
concede
anymore,
chances. You know?
Exactly. We have to be on it. We can't. So and every team now, like we've spoken about, goes long against De Gea, puts balls high in the box against De Gea. Panics him on the ball or panics the player that De Gea is going to pass it to, because it's actually one of the. It's like a big up to the NBA fans. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, Owen, or know much about NBA. It's like Russell Westbrook. He's got it together recently, but Russell Westbrook used to be amazing, and now it's like his form went so bad. You know what they were doing, Owen? They were leaving him free at the 3-point line. The disrespect, like literally, like he won't score. Don't worry.
He's not going to score.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't take the shot. He weren't taking the shot. Like he's done brilliantly since that. He's like defensively, he's been amazing, and he's got to get himself back. But it's like it's like let De Gea have the ball. Actually, don't even rush him, because just go to the player that he wants to play it to, because he's gonna F it up, like what he did to Antonio when he tried to pass it to Shaw. Antonio went, you know what? Let me just go to let me just go shut Shaw down, because it's going to be a shit pass. So it's like that treatment. So we need him. We need him to be flawless for 5 games. 5 games. I need perfection from De Gea. Hopefully not having to make too much big saves, because hopefully we're in control and not doing that. But when called upon, yes, and then build up. Yeah, of course, exactly. We need him to do that, which is what he's always done. To be fair to him, I'm not going to act like he can't do that. I'm not going to be that guy. Now he's used. I'm not going to do that. He can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not going to do that, because he will still make some saves this season. But what worries me is he probably will still make some mistakes, and we can't have it. We can't have it. So, yeah, De Gea, I see why he's been given no assurances that he's going to be number 1, according to reports. I can also see why Ten Hag is trying to keep him, not because I don't think it's purely footballing side. I as much as he says in the press conferences and the public backing, I think there's a subplot. I think there's a bigger plot going on behind the scenes. The same way, like he was waxing lyrical about Harry Maguire, and look at the treatment of him. I think Ten Hag will never throw his players under the bus. And yeah, we don't want to hear the words, "Oh, but we want him to get a new deal." That means they do. That means that's not covering it up. You don't say that unless he's in a key moment and he's going to stay. But I think the reason they want him to stay is like what me and Owen said. We just don't have enough resources to sort that yet.
Fine, aren't they? You think about it, his contract expires next month.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be a free agent. Even all now, he could have arringed a deal with somebody else. Obviously, he wants to stay. So.
Obviously, all the reports are that they are making good progress on it, and again, it looks like it's going to happen. But if you're going to get really conspiracy theory about it, you could argue that maybe again they're drawing it out to be like, well, let's see how quickly this takeover stuff can get done, and then maybe we'll see. Let's keep our options open as long as we possibly can, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Owen, where did you get to with the last super chat? Because I want to get these ones out. Can you just?
Where did I get to with the last super chat? From Lil Yo-Yo that said about your vocal masterpiece. That's what I got to.
Okay, so Lil Yo-Yo vocal masterpiece. Okay, so Ahmed says, an unpopular opinion, Rashford cost us more games than De Gea this season. Selfish overload. Yes, we need a better goalkeeper, but not first priority. Our goals scored record is very telling. I do agree with the goal scored record, 100%. Fat 4 says 4-2-3-1. Name your ideal players per position for us. What, to get in? I don't know if I've got time for that. Well, that's a whole nother show, Fat 4, to be honest. Or do you mean out of the players that we have got, though? To be fair, let me know which one do you mean. And Duma, big up to Duma. I don't know if I can pronounce your first name properly, so I don't want to offend you. So big up to you, Duma. There's a lot that's wrong. It's actually just sad. Players coming from 20k to 200k, Glazers sabotaging the new season, etc. Last 10 years, man. Yeah, I mean, Gary Neville got a lot of stick. Before we move on, he got a lot of stick in the aftermath of the West Ham game, because his tweet, he was basically saying, this is on the Glazers, and he knows what he's doing there, because essentially in the bigger, wider picture of the things that we've just been discussing in this video, it is on the Glazers. Uncertainty, there's no budget for next year. We've got 4 million quid Weghorst. Ten Hag's, not got a lot there, although he did actually sign a lot of players, though, to be fair, in his first season. But it is on the Glazers. But that game and how we lost it, and Jamie Carragher was right. Was it Avram Glazer's fault that De Gea flipping threw that in the net? Was it Avram Glazer's fault that De Gea bloody can't kick the ball properly. Like, you know, is his fault that our strikers didn't do anything. But Gary Neville knew what he was doing there. But you know, he's kind of right. But I do get what you're saying there about the Glazers. Speaking of the Glazers and why we have another certain player, Weghorst, he had some interesting quotes in the media. What were they, Owen?
What's that all about? Wow. Wout Weghorst is hopeful he has a future at Manchester United beyond the end of the season after positive talks with the club, according to Charlotte Ducker from The Times. He said in, I guess, an interview, quote, "In those talks, the club said they are very satisfied with me. It has absolutely not been communicated with me that Manchester United don't want to continue with me. They appreciate my value. They believe I'm absolutely an asset for the team. Of course, I have heard different things in the media. I have to wait and see what happens and focus on our goals in the league and cup competitions. I'm a guy who likes to play football. When your appearances are reduced, as has been the case lately, you realize what you are missing. If the club wants to keep me, I'll have to know what role they have in mind for me." So he's saying, look, they're very happy with me. It's not been communicated that they don't want to keep me. I hope I can stay, and I need to know what my role is going to be moving forward.
What, you want my thoughts?
Yes.
You want my thoughts?
Yes.
They're lying. They're lying because they still need him. That's as simple as that. They're lying because they still need him.
They haven't told me they don't want me. Do they? Have they told you they want to keep you? No.
No, yeah. Look, listen. I'm not actually going to do the Weghorst thing. Like, oh, he is one of the worst players. We don't need to do that. I actually think that's a bit harsh on him because he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here. If my agent, and again, not in my position as not a footballer, agent that I don't have, and I can play for Man United tomorrow.
If it comes out next January, Fletcher signed for Manchester United as a striker, then we should be quite concerned with going.
I don't want to hear any of you lot saying, "Oh, he's crap." I'll be living a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be living a dream, and I've scored in Stretford End. I've scored there. You know what I mean? I've actually wait there. I've got the same amount of goals as Weghorst in the Stretford End
at Old Trafford.
Yeah. I've got the same. One appearance as well. 100%.
Yeah.
Ain't bad, is it?
Were you playing in the Europa League when it happened?
Huh?
Were you playing in the Europa League?
No, I was playing in the I was playing in the Moplay Cup. It was a fight. It was a silverware on the line, and we won.
And you won. Got a medal.
Yeah. I was on West Brown's team. Do have a medal actually.
You got the same amount of medals at United as Weghorst does as well.
Yeah. No, mine was not offside. LUV. Love. Don't hate.
Is that in the video? Is that in the video that's on your Twitter profile?
It is the video that I will never unpin in my whole life.
I'm gonna have a look, see if it's offside.
It's not offside.
There's been accusations.
Yeah, because they're just hating. People always want to hate on me for no reason. It's not offside. It's not. It's not offside. Tywin Lannister said it's clearly offside. You can't even see. Why can't you just go, wow, as a fan, you've scored in the Stretford, and that must have been amazing. But no. Let's hate. Let's try and take it away from him. Honestly, refs were bribed. Tywin Lannister, pay your debts.
It's like Liverpool at Anfield. You know,
VAR I'll play on the last line.
VAR camera angle is very dodgy. You know what I mean?
Listen,
it's like VAR
my movement's
Anfield.
exceptional. I play on the last line. Defenders don't like it. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. No one will ever take. You know, as a United fan, to score in the Stretford End, even if no one's in it, dinked it over the keeper, and I was shouting to somebody. Was it Adam McCullough? No, Adam McCullough was there. Someone, I think it was, what's his name? Not Sparky. It's the other famous, Manny, the other famous YouTuber. I was like, leave it. Don't touch it. It's going in. Because I dinked the keeper and it was like one of them little FIFA ones where you dink and it goes in slowly, but it's going to go in. And he was near it. I was like, don't touch it. It's going to be my goal. Anyway, I'm not going to go in on Weghorst, but him saying that, I don't expect it to be anything different. Again, in a season where we've had to rely on someone like him for so many games because we didn't even have a striker available, in a season where when that other striker is available, let's have it right. Ten Hag tactically has gone, I ain't starting Martial in the last couple of games. It's not like he wasn't fit. Like he's back. He's been fine. He just wasn't doing anything. Do you know what I mean? And then he said about the physicality, you know, why he brought in Weghorst and stuff like that in the 10. So weirdly, not that I agree with it, but you know, Ten Hag has relied on him and called upon him in big moments. He does trust him. Like,
Oh, we
we
already got
can't
our
afford
money's
to lose
worth
that game.
when it came to him.
Yeah,
you know what
of
I mean?
course.
He impacted more than I think anyone thought he was going to when he came in January. Look, he played really well. I remember against Barcelona in those games. He got an assist in the Carabao Cup final. He came in, and from January till about March, he pretty much played every game, 2 games a week, every game when we needed him. And I don't think that can be overlooked. Clearly, never good enough. Should never have been at Manchester United. You know, again, if this was a normal season and we had the actual budgets in place, he would have not have come in. And ultimately in football, most of the time you get what you pay for. And he was a £3 million loan in January because we'd lost Cristiano Ronaldo and Anthony Martial couldn't stay fit. And Martial to this day still hasn't played 90 minutes. So I will never criticize him for that. And I'll also never criticize him for trying. It's not as if he's come in and never, and you know, half-assed it. He's tried his best, but he's just not good enough. And he always was a stopgap. My concern would be is if the stopgap becomes long term, which is signing him at the end of the season.
They can't do that. They can't. And I remember at the beginning saying, you know what, if we get, you know, a striker and keep Martial at the time in my head, that's what I was like, he could be like third, fourth choice off the bench, you know.
Yeah.
No, he can't.
No, because when he for instance, when he came on against like Brighton, or when he came on in the other games, it's like no, exactly. That's the difference. You sort of go, you know, when he came on, he started against West Ham, didn't he? Didn't really do anything. And sometimes he has been
actually, to be fair to him, he was the only one linking. Did a couple of little touches. I'm not saying it was anything good. That's how bad the others were.
Yeah, exactly. If that's a situation, again, no disrespect to him, but if Weghorst is your best player in terms of like you go, I think Weghorst is probably our best player on the pitch, and that's a massive problem.
Yeah, we're in big
trouble. From Manchester United, that's a massive issue.
Is that true? If that is true, guys, we're nearly 1,000 people watching. We're just at the end of the show. Come on.
I know what to do. I know what to do.
Do it.
Hijack. Not coming back.
Not coming back. Guys, come on, man. We got to do way better than that. Let's get these likes up. Can we get to 300 before the end of the stream, which is coming very shortly. But come on, guys.
I know people might be, you know, like a bit down with United, and there are, like you said, Flex, 4-5 cup finals coming up. But we're all in this together, as the song goes from High School Musical. Yeah. So lights get up. And then
never watched High School Musical.
Because you're older than me. When I was younger,
that's your thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's just my generation was the Disney Channel. The first 2 films, people forget they weren't even in the cinemas. First 2 films were Disney Channel originals, and they just hyped them up. You used to get back from school, it used to be on.
Yeah, not for me.
It wasn't really for me either, but just, you know.
Yeah, Fat4 says my super chat. 4231. Name your ideal players per position. So, but what was it? Is it what we've got now, or is it what you want to bring in? Because I don't know. Because basically, to do a whole new batch of players that's a whole that'll be something we do as actually at the end of the season when we do our transfer videos as well.
Yeah.
David T says we need to send Groot back to Burnley. He's got a charity match trophy in the bag. He's a wholesome man, but shocking, like the damn team.
I also like his account. It's David T and brackets temporary Madrista visa in progress. And I saw people criticizing Cam yesterday in the tactical view. They were saying, Cam, why are you wearing a Real Madrid tracksuit? And I thought it was obvious. Yeah. I thought it was obvious. He's supporting because tonight's the night, Fleck. Tonight's the night.
I'm doing a match. I'm doing a watch along on DR actually. Obviously wanting Madrid to win, but is what it is. I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
Legs. Nah.
What about tonight though? In the
City dust them. Nah. Be close. Maybe a draw at maximum. Don't think Madrid beat City in any of the legs. No. I think maybe a draw tonight at best, but City could even nick it. And at home, I just think they dust them down.
By the way, guys, we're not bullshitting. We are not leaving this screen until it gets to 300 likes. Yeah,
it's been a bit mad now. We've been on the screen for ages. Mark Harris says that team of individuals playing as a team will flop. And FH did it. Says, what do you guys think about keeping Sabitzer as a squad player or go for Maddison? Well, we'll let you know in a little bit when we get 300 likes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done this recently in some of the solo ones. I've just refused to be on the screen. I've taken my camera off in OBS and like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Love says, your content, not ours. We got all day, Owen. Jesus.
No, fine. I will sit here and I'll stop
It's a
talking.
proper standoff. Guys, please get us to 300 likes quick. I want to come back on the screen. Come on, we're only like 50 away. Just hit the like button, please. You can do it, guys. You can do this. Just hit that like. We can do it. Come on. We're literally 50 away. 49 away now. I believe in them, Owen, that they will do it before the end of the stream.
I refuse to speak.
You refuse to speak.
I refuse to speak.
But you're speaking now.
I will be like one of those teachers where they go, fine, we'll sit here in silence.
Yeah, I used to hate when teachers did that. Well, the likes are going up. We're nearly there. Come on, guys. We're at 270 now. Give us 30 more likes. 30 more likes. We could do this as a community. There you go. There's some more coming in now. I believe in the community. They will get it done. They will get it done. That's what I'm saying. Like the ting, says Samba. Okay, I'll like, says Joe H. Joe H has given up. Joe H is like, all right, okay, fine. Tywin Lannister says they need us more than we need them. And Duma says we wanted Rabiot and Arnautovic, paid big piece for Anthony and Casemiro, loaned in Weghorst and Sabitzer, when Manchester United hasn't cut it since 2013. We are so close now, guys. We are at 291. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's do it. I believe we're there now. We're there. I'm going to come off the screen. I believe. Come on. We're there. They did it, Owen. It's 90. It's 94 now. They've done it. Okay? You can talk
Good
now.
is not good enough.
It's 96. There you go. We're 4 away. We've done it. Okay? You can speak now. We're in.
It says 296 on my screen.
Yeah, it says that on mine as well, but 299. Look, there you go. So, can I even like the video to get that one? I think I've done that right. There you go.
No, you can't. There you go.
302.
We can celebrate. Look at Marcel with the coins. Yay! Look at him. Man. Marcel.
Oh, Jesus. Suits him as well, doesn't it? Actually suits
him. It does. That does. There were legitimate conversations about getting him that hat.
Yeah.
Me and Josh actually.
And it's funny as well because his M for Marcel literally just turned into a W. Like,
yeah, it works. We were honestly after the full view last night. Me and Josh were going, how do we get that hat?
Yeah, that'll be on Amazon as a dress-up thing. Easy.
Yeah, it's quite expensive. It's more expensive than we would care.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not then. Maybe
it's
not.
That, you know what I mean? We go, that'll be funny. And then he goes, 30 pounds. And you go,
yeah, nah, it's not that funny. Nah. Marcel should just sit there and just do that.
Yeah. Well, I said, can we just find a hat and like paint it yellow and then put W on it?
To him. We can make a shit one for him.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It's FIFA day. For all you disgraces and cheats who hate on me and KG and Minna as well, come and tune in because we're gonna come back. We're gonna have a good session and we're gonna start to find our feet with our normal formation that we want to play. And not all this outside noise. We're going to block out the noise and we're going to have a good one. And the Flex and KG show later on this evening as well. So, yes, tune in later on this afternoon. Keep your notifications on. We'll be live maybe about 12 around that time. But you'll get your notification not long anyway for FIFA. Director of football, maybe there, maybe not there. We'll have to see. He's might be on some transfer business. But, yes, big day today. Flex, keep the difficult level, but change the sliders. It will help. I don't know.
They've tried lots of things. Well, last time they took advice, they lost like 3 games in a row.
Yeah. We just need to me and KG just need to block out the noise and focus on him.
Do you know how wild it was, how that started last week, where you went 2-0 up and everyone was convinced that like the level had changed and it hadn't.
Yeah.
And then they beat you 4-2.
I can't believe it. Even I thought that was really easy. It was like the computer thought. I think the computer started on the wrong one. I went, oh no, the save option. No, it actually was this level. Let's do it in game, and we just
yeah.
David Silva was prime. He was prime. David Silva.
Incredible. I mean, it was all going like, was it 4-0, 4-1 up against Fulham and then nearly get it back? Oh,
but no, but 4-1 against Fulham, that's when Minna started interjecting. With 4-1 up cruising, she was like, change this, change that, do this. You lot suck, do this. So we went, we'll do it. And then all of a sudden...
No, you didn't. That's the difference. You did not.
She got in our heads first.
You started shouting at her, going, we're winning. What are you talking about? And then it ended you going, let's just pass it around.
Yeah, I know, because she annoyed. That was her fault. Anyway, we'll see you all again soon. Take care, guys. Peace.